Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the woods of Idaho. I don't know if I've mentioned previously, but Lancer Systems, their L5 AWM Advanced Warfighter magazine is by far and away my favorite AR-15 magazine. I've probably said that on other videos, but the thing is just awesome for a bunch of reasons. Most notably the metal feed lips, this whole metal insert that's at the top, metal magazine cache, all that stuff. They're just indestructible. They feed flawlessly. I have the most confidence in them. They're very light. I love them. So it occurred to me, I've never really checked out other stuff from Lancer Systems, and they make a lot of cool parts. I've seen their forends in my local gun shop, these carbon fiber, really sexy looking handguards, but I've never tried one, never really looked at them up close. I've also seen their lower receiver online, which is super unique, has a cool feature that no other lower receiver has. I think they actually have a patent on it, but I've never seen one in person, never tried it out, so I decided to fix that. Let's see what we got. Opening up the foam padded box here, we find the Lancer lower. This is their L15. I got it fully assembled to save myself some time. They include a CMC trigger, the 3.5 pound target one, this awesome carbon fiber fixed stock, which has a QD socket at the rear, and I also picked up an extended length carbon fiber handguard. This thing is super freaking light. It is beautiful. Just the finish is amazing. They make it with different cuts in it. If you don't like the aesthetics of this, they do kind of more normal rail appearance types cuts, and I think they do some solid ones too. They do ones with rails on the top, entire full rails across the top, or just little rail sections on the front for a sight. This one's going to go on my 9mm AR-15 pistol actually, and it's going to cover up my Liberty Mystic suppressor, which will be inside of it, sticking out just maybe an inch or so, and I'm switching to a 5.5 inch barrel on that. But today, really the reason I am out here is to check out the L15 lower receiver, because this thing is awesome. It has one feature you will not find anywhere else. Maybe you see it already, maybe you already know about it, but this magazine well is actually held in with a pin on the back. It's the same as your pivot pin on the front of your AR-15. And on the front there's a notch. What this means is that the magazine well itself is actually replaceable. The one you see on it now is their mid-sized one, the tactical magazine well. There is also a slim magazine well. This is more of your standard size. And there's a really fat flared one, which is the competition mag well. Obviously, slamming magazines into this thing is easier. You've got a bigger target than putting them into your standard magazine well. They swap out very quickly and easily, so let's check that out. Before we jump into that magazine well, let me just mention that even if you get a stripped lower receiver, which you can do from Lancer, you're going to have this pretty cool proprietary magazine release button here. It's a lot taller and bigger, nicer than your standard AR-15 mag release. And on this side is a bolt release. It actually does have an ambidextrous bolt release. Your normal one over here, you can replace that if you want. And another one on the right side, which is pretty handy. You can load a magazine, you've got your finger indexed here, and you can reach up and release the bolt like that. Other than that, it's available stripped as you would expect, and also assembled in a couple of different configurations with different buttstocks or no buttstocks, all sorts of good stuff like that. So let's push out this pivot pin, see if I can just do it by hand. Sure enough. And the pivot pin is captured in this magazine well, which now just comes right off. So now you take your new magazine well, whichever one that may be. There is a notch on the front, or a groove, whatever you call it, with some foam in it to make sure that it doesn't rattle when it's on. Hook it over the front, put it down, drive the pin through, and Robert is your father's brother. I've got the competition mag well installed. Why not? One thing I thought was cool was that the entire transition from flared to straight happens in all of the mag wells, not in the receiver. I was worried, possibly there could be a lip that would make your magazine hang up, but they've taken care of that. It's all in the mag well. There's no transition basically from mag well to receiver. It's totally straight before it gets to the receiver, goes right in. And with this guy, there is really no darn way to miss the magazine well. It's huge. Check out the ambi bolt catch. Nice, easy to depress, worked fine. Sweet. Feels pretty darn good. May as well check out this CMC trigger while I have it. My gauge measured it at 3 pounds even. There is no slack, no pre-travel whatsoever. Clean break. Wow. That is a great trigger. There's your reset. Pulling on it again. Clean break. Not bad at all. Very cool. Alright, so before signing off on the review of this Lancer lower, I should say that it has become my test bed for testing out different AR-15 parts. As you can see, I have the Hogue G10 grip on it. I have a velocity trigger in it, and I'm going to be having a lot more AR-15 triggers in and out of this receiver in the future. Had the Elf in it a few weeks ago and for a couple of months, and that safety on there, that is Strike Industries safety kit. I also have the long one on the other side, which you can see in this photo. So it has become a test bed of sorts, and I really enjoy this lower a lot. Got the tactical magwell on it now, and I've been going back and forth between that and the competition. Can't really decide which one I like better. I mean, they're both awesome. If I was going to do it on any receiver, it might be this one. That is spending $200 on the tax stamp to SBR it. And before I get too terribly complimentary, I should say that there is one issue with the tactical and competition magwells and Magpul Gen 3 magazines. And I think these magwells were actually made before these magazines were, but all the mags that you see here, the Lancer mag, of course, CAA, this is an IWI version, but that's CAA's magazine, Magpul, the older ones, the Gen 2 and whatnot, Troy mag, and actually, even though this is a Gen 3, the Magpul 10 round mags fit in there, but on the Gen 3 they have this big tab on the back. You can see that guy right there, and it actually hits on the inside of the magwell on the back, just barely doesn't make it in there. And even though the 10 round has it down here, it's a little bit shorter than on the 30 round and 40 round ones, and it makes it in, barely, but it does make it in. Gen 3 won't fit in this. Of course, what you could do is just shave that down a tiny bit and it'd be fine. All these other mags, no issues. And actually, I think that 10 round mag looks kind of cool in there. Well guys, thanks again for joining me out in the woods there. Forgot to do a little wrap up, so we're here in the basement with the Lancer lower. I've actually had this for about 4 months now. I've shot a lot of rounds through it, and like I said, I've been using it as a test bed for lots of different products. Right now it has a Rise Armament trigger in it, has a really vertical angle grip from Ergo Grips. The safety is a safety kit from Strike Industries that offers you tons of different levers, which is kind of fun. And in addition to other brands of products going on this, I've been swapping the magwells around a fair bit. I've been kind of sticking with this competition one though. It's been on here for a while now. I like it. It's a lot of fun. For those of you that like to put your hand on the front of the magwell, this actually offers a really, really good grip for that purpose as well. And you know, it's just impossible to miss with a new magazine. So that's a lot of fun for mag changes, and I would definitely consider using it for 3-gun or other competition or just fun use target shooting. The bolt release on this side is pretty cool. Handy for me as a right-handed person, but I can definitely see it being handy for a left-handed person as well. Other than that, the lower isn't ambidextrous. It doesn't have a magazine release on the left side, and this isn't actually a bolt catch, it's just a release, but it does work well, and I like how it's really cleanly integrated with the lower. I like this slightly extended magazine release button as well. I do find it somewhat interesting that this is apparently a forged lower receiver. It isn't milled from stock, it is actually made from a forging, despite obviously not being mil-spec. The trigger guard's integrated and it has all of the features for swapping the magwells, plus this stuff on this side, the different mag button and the bolt release, not mil-spec standard forgings, but it's forged, which is apparently stronger. You get better grain structure around here, this buffer tube mounting area, which is typically the spot that will crack on it. I don't know if the alleged strength differences between forging into a rough shape or just milling from a block would really matter for most people, but it is an interesting note. Bottom line is I really enjoyed having this thing, and it is not going back to Lancer. I'm purchasing this and keeping it here for my own future use. Don't forget to check out the link in the video description below to TTAG, thetruthaboutguns.com, for photographs and more information about the lower and the stock and whatnot. And there's also a link to Lancer's website in the description as well. As always, thank you guys for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you would, and I hope to see you next time.